Some things are just not appropriate. Some things you just come in here. You gotta sit down. You gotta shake hands with the guy that's across the table from you. You know what I'm saying? You have to have some sort of respect. Between businessmen. You know, and I don't feel like you have that. You know what I'm saying? I think you came in here and you had this sort of aura of somebody who thought that they were important, and I can understand. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, when I was first getting started out, I can understand. I can appreciate the fact that you would like to have a reputation. I can understand that, but here's the thing, about reputations. With reputation comes a responsibility to uphold it. And also, with the reputation comes the ability, to compare it to someone else's. And unfortunately, in this particular instance, I have to tell you that your reputation does not hold up. So I believe that what would be better for you would be for you to go and perhaps rethink your approach to this particular conversation that we are having. So this guy here, you know what I'm saying? He comes in here, he's like, "Hey, Big Tony," and I'm like, "Hey, you don't know me like that. You don't speak to me like that. You don't talk to me like that. You don't have that sort of relationship between yourselves. You gotta have a little bit more respect. When we have a conversation, and he doesn't do it. So, it happens. What happens is happens. Sometimes, it just comes down to it. Sometimes, you'd like to come off. You'd like to have a good relationship with someone, but it doesn't happen. What can you do? What can you do? You do your best. You come in here, you're like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I would very much appreciate the two of us having a business together." You know what I'm saying? I believe that it is in the best interest of between the two of us for us to partner and to pursue our shared and mutual interests together. And you approach it like that. You come up with a lot of respect. You come in there, and you're just trying to make your bones. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to start something big, and they don't appreciate it, and I don't know what to do with that. I got a little bit of a temper. I tell you so. I came in there and I was like, "Hello, nice to meet you. These are my associates. This is Tony. Please ignore him. He's just here for my protection, just in case something happens. Tony likes to follow me around just to make certain that our organization does not lose its head. And in this case, that's me, and that's fine. Don't be offended. Don't be bothered. By the fact that he's got a large bat. It happens. He's just very attached to it. But we're not gonna discuss that. So I came in here to have a conversation with you, to try to do something, try to build something, and I would appreciate it if you could meet me halfway. At the very least, really. Actually, to me, it would be more respectful if you came farther than halfway, because I come all this way, to present you with this great opportunity, But we can start here. We can start at 50. We can start halfway, and we can go from there. But at the very beginning, at the least, I would think that you would like to at least meet me halfway there, so that we could have some sort of agreement, and do something. But you don't want to, and I get that. I can respect that. That's one of the. I really appreciate being a night owl. Because there's something like. It's weird because there's people who are like, don't you miss the daytime? No, but like when you go out during the day, especially like during the weekend, and like you go to the store and it's full of people. I don't like crowds. I don't like massive bits of people hanging around. So it always makes me a bit uncomfortable whenever I'm going to a store and it's just full of people. And like, it used to be Walmart, and it's funny, I used to have this idea that I want to make a mall, but make it like everything, like a movie theatre, stores, grocery store, bowling alley, but it's all 24 hours. And like you even have like, you can build in like apartments that are underground underneath this mall. So you'd have like the produce and all that stuff for like groceries and your fucking restaurants that's all on the top floor so that it can all be delivered. But then you like have like a reverse, so like you just build beneath it. So like the malls, like you have the top 2 floors, but then you have like housing that's beneath it, and it has to be solid. It's good housing. It's not like a cheap row. Like it's good solid housing that you can be in, and it's like below or beneath it. But like the big thing is that the mall itself is 24 hours. Purely because I've always been a night owl. But it's not one of those things that has ever actually changed. Like I remember, I don't know how old I was, so it must have been at least middle school. Whenever, I think it was Chrono Trigger, so I had this little red TV, like tiny little TVs, like 15, 17 inches, maybe 19, I don't think it was 19. It was a tiny little thing. But I remember, like in the middle of the night, playing like Chrono Trigger, Breath of Fire 3 and whatnot on my little tiny TV before I had to go to school. So like I wouldn't this guy's like fucking weaving through the lanes. Jesus. It's fucking Thursday morning at 1 a.m. and traffic's absolutely mad for no reason. I never understood that. Like just randomly during the week, every once in a while, it's just a random day. It's not Friday, it's not a Saturday, and traffic just goes bonkers. But I had this little TV, but I remember staying up late, and I'd be playing whatever, like on the SES. I'd be playing whatever little JRPG was in at a time, and then I'd like fall asleep. I wouldn't fall asleep till like 3, 4 a.m. And I still had to be up at like 7 to go to class. It may not have been 3 or 4, maybe like 1 or 2, but I think it was like 3 or 4. Like, and that's like I've been that way for so long. I do remember when I was very small, there was some event happening, and this was when I was back in Virginia Beach, so I was very young, under 10, like maybe 6 or 7. Maybe 8, but like A New Hope was on the TV, but I was tired and I kept trying to go to sleep. I remember that, but at some point I just became purely nocturnal. And it's funny because I remember one time I went out and it was out with like Justin, my best friend, and we were out doing dumb things, and I don't know what happened, but I came home. I was just done. So I came home, and it was like 3 or 4 a.m. when I came home. Now, I was not a child, so I must have been a teenager. But you would imagine, at that point, your parents would see you coming home at like 3, 4 a.m. and then, "Brah, what are you doing here so late? You need to be home earlier." First of all, I don't know why they would say it like that, but you like that's what you would imagine. But I never. What's funny is that my mother was happened to be up, and like in the kitchen at the time when I came home, and she like looked at the time, and so it was like 3 or 4 a.m. She's like, oh, early night, huh? Like, I've just always been a night owl. As far as I can, I mean, not obviously because I can remember the wee bits, but like, for quite some time now, I've just been purely nocturnal. But it's so much nicer, it's less traffic. Going to a store when there's like no one there, and you just wander around, and the thing you have to, so during the day, you have to avoid other people, right? It's like fucking swarmed of people and always in your way. You got that one fucking couple that's like, or not even a couple, it's typically like a family, and they're just like wandering down the center of the aisle, and like the baskets off to the side, so it's all like fucking bobs, and they're like casually looking around, or casually talking, or casually looking on the aisles or in the shelves and whatnot, and blocking off the whole fucking aisle. And that fucking madness, or you're trying to get in and out when you're fucking walking down, and like right when you get to the end of your little aisle, someone gets to the end of their aisle and they turn a sharp left, and now they're fighting, and you gotta stop before. It's fucking madness is what it is. But like, you shop at night, there's no one else there, so now what you're doing is you're avoiding, instead of avoiding people, you've got to avoid all the things that are like, because they're restocking. So now you have to figure out, it's Winco specifically, because it's the only one I typically know about. Like, it used to be Walmart, but then they're like, no, we're going to close it at 12. And I remember when that happened, because I had left work, and like I was going to Walmart because I want to get Christmas lights, I believe it was like the first time I really wanted string lights up in my room. And like, I showed up, and like, it was right when they're about to start closing down, because they were like, right, we're closing. I was like, what? Like, we close at 12. I'm like, but I just got off work. And they're like, hey, we have families, we should be able to go home too. And I'm like, I mean, I get that, but it used to be 24 hours. So people like me, who are also getting off work now, can still have a place to shop. But they didn't. They decided to start doing 24 hours. And that's how I found Winco, which is amazing. So that's great. But like, wandering around Winco at night, like, you have to play a game called Which Aisle Can I Walk Down with My Cart? Because they're restocking. And they have like all their stuff in the middle. And like, the way that they do it, it isn't fully navigatable. Like, quite a lot of time it's not enough room to bring a cart down. Like, you can sneak down if you can like squeeze between the aisles and whatnot to try to keep yourself from knocking something over, but your cart won't make it, so you have to like stand at the very end of it and sort of try to figure out which aisle isn't so wonky to keep you from bringing your cart down. So that's what happens at night. But at the same time, there's no one else. Like, there's very few people that are shopping at like 1 or 3 in the morning, and it's much nicer. The highway, as much as I'm complaining about all the people, it's much nicer driving home at night than it is going to work. Because here's my question for you, right? I get it. I drive fast, fine. I try to keep it safe. You know, I put spaces between myself and all the other people. Try not to do any sort of super aggressive movements. You know, because again, right, you can drive fast and safe. Firm believer of it. And I get that. What that means, however, is I drive in the left lane, the passing lane, so I'm passing people. Right? That's what it's for. So why, if you're driving slow, do you drive in the left lane? You've got the right lane, which is for slowness, as well as people getting on and getting off the highway. You've got a middle lane, which is for people who don't want to be impacted by the people who are getting on and getting off the highway, but it's still not the passing lane. Right, you've got those two lanes that are for not driving fast. So then why would you get in the left lane and only drive the speed limit, or perhaps under it? If you are in the left lane and you're being passed by people on the right, you should not be in the left lane. I think that's rather obvious. And like, I can like hear the Karens and the speed limit 65, so I'm going to drive 64 because it's better to be safe. And just because I'm driving slow doesn't mean that you shouldn't. What the hell is that? It's police officers. It is. He just turned his light on right in front of me. Why? Not his blue light. He's turned his spotlight on me because I was passing. That was kind of rude, like right in my eyes. That was rude. We're just going to tell ourselves that it was an accident and he's not an asshole. But I think he is. But yeah, if you're driving slow, why are you in the left lane? And why, if you're being passed, if you have people that come up behind you and then fucking sit behind you and then fucking get over to the right to pass you to get back in the left where people like me belong, like, I get it, I'm not trying to weave through all the traffic most of the time. Sometimes, not all the time, I will admit, but most of the time I try to keep myself to the left lane and I try not to make all the super aggressive movements to traffic. Right, you just deal with the left lane. It's typically moving faster. Fine, I'll live over here for the most part. I get it. So I try to keep myself to the left to not make all those super aggressive movements to get through traffic. Right? I keep myself to my lane. Why are you in my lane? You don't drive like you belong here. Like, if I have to get over to the right and then pass you to get back over to my lane, you should not be in the left lane. The end. Like, drive slow all you want, but do it to the right. Slower traffic, keep right. I just really want to know what's going through their heads. Like, if you're driving slow and all these people fucking come up and pass you, why do you not get over? What's going through your mind? Like, you just sit there like, oh, this is fine. I'll just be fucking impediment to traffic flow and force all these other people to fucking get around me. Well, why do you have to pass them? Because that's the left lane. It's not for slow driving. As I saw on Reddit, it's for crime. Like, get out of the left lane. Yeah, that happened. Not tonight. Tonight was just random madness. People being in weird spots and not driving appropriately. Typically the left lane nonsense is on the way to work, because that's when you have the most traffic, and they're like, well, I don't like being by the right because there's more cars, and so I want to stay. I don't want to go to the right, I want to stay on the left, and that way I don't have to worry about it. And they fucking eat paint. Right, bye. I'm home. I'm parked.